Hi friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. For today's video, we are going to be looking at the budget I wrote for my husband's second paycheck in October. We're going to be taking a look at what I spent for the week, see if the actual column lines up with this budgeted column, see how we did. We're going to fill in my weekly check-in page, count up my cash, see what I have left over in my cash envelopes, and just sort of wrap up week 2 so I can then focus on getting everything set up for week 3. So if this is the kind of video you are interested in, you can just keep right on watching. Make sure if you haven't yet, you click the subscribe button so you can have more videos like this coming at you. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I have my planner laid out here in front of me, and what you are looking at is my budget printables for October that I have printed out, punched, and put into a Happy Planner disc-bound system. This is how I do my budgeting. There are so many different budgeting worksheets, budgeting methods you can try. You do not need a fancy printable like this. You do not need a budget workbook. You can simply write out your budget on a piece of loose leaf paper and a pencil if that's what you're interested in. Everybody starts somewhere, and the most important thing, the most important step in the budgeting process is just writing everything down. Whatever method you choose, whatever works for you. If you would like to get your hands on printables like the ones I use, I do have them available in my Etsy shop, which I have linked down below. I also have the Budget Mom printables and her workbook and whatnot listed down below as well. I used those for a long time before I started making my own printables. But before that, I used a spiral bound notebook and an ink pen. I occasionally would use some sticky notes or some highlighters or whatever, but the most important thing about the budgeting process is just that you write everything down, track your spending, figure out your bills, write those down, and just keep track of everything. If you're not a paper and pen person, you can use a spreadsheet. I just want to make sure it's clear that you don't need fancy printables, you don't need to go out and buy a $50 budget planner. What's most important is just a drive to pay off debt, a drive to track your finances, and some sort of system that works for you. So, I wrote out my budget with you all in a previous video. I will link that video in a card above if you are interested in checking that out and you missed it. I talk through my thought process and why I decided to put each amount of money into each category. And so I sort of set up my plan of attack. And now this video is coming at you at the end of this paycheck cycle. My husband is paid every single week, so the end of that week. And we're going to talk about how closely I stuck to my plan. Because you can sit down and you can write out a budget and you can make a plan all you want. But if you don't stick to it, then it's all for nothing, right? So, I have my budget here in front of me. When I stuffed my cash envelopes, I went ahead and filled in these actual columns. Just so that I could see that what I budgeted was what I actually put into my envelopes. I do a lot of my budgeting in cash because it's really easy for me to see as the cash goes away how much I have left. I don't have to fiddle with checking my bank account and figuring out which payments have cleared and which haven't. Cash just works really well for me in that aspect. If cash is not for you and you don't want to do it that way, you don't have to. I can't stress enough, personal finance is personal. Do what works best for you. So those actual columns are already filled in. I am going to fill in my weekly check-in for my cash categories because I put this amount of money into the cash envelopes, but that's not necessarily what I spent. This is where I track what I actually spent, and I actually have an expense tracker here that I created for myself. This is something new that I'm trying. You guys know, if you've watched my videos before, that typically I track all of my spending here in a calendar system, And I use stickers that I made for myself, just using my silhouette portrait. Each of my spending categories gets its own color. I color code everything. And that's been working really, really well for me for the last couple of years. But I decided to try something a little bit different this time in keeping track of everything, still with a color coding system, but in an expense tracker. In the past, when I have tried to use an expense tracker, I've always gotten myself really kind of confused and upset because I was trying to track my ending balance. You know, if I have $300 in the bank and then I spend, you know, $58 on food and $40 in spending, I would kind of go along and keep track of my ending balance as well. But a lot of times, my ending balance that was on my expense tracker wouldn't match up with my bank because payments hadn't cleared yet, or you know, I swiped my debit card when I went grocery shopping and that hasn't updated in my bank yet. So when my totals wouldn't match the totals I had on paper and the totals I had in my bank account, it would really stress me out, give me a lot of anxiety. And so I kind of moved away from tracking my expenses this way. But what I did this past week was I didn't worry about the ending balance. All I worried about was what I was spending, and I just wrote it down by category, how much I was spending, and then at the end of the week, I was able to tally all of this up. I sort of took inspiration from my friend over at Life in Envelopes, Jennifer. She does a different expense tracker for every single week, and I thought I would try that, and it's worked out really well for me. So I am going to still transfer this information here onto my stickers and put them into my calendar. Maybe that seems redundant to you, but I like to be able to look at a glance and see everything that I spent. But rather than doing individual stickers for each transaction, I'm just going to do an overall total. I did that last week. That really worked out nicely for me. My friend Jennifer does that as well, and it seems to really work for her. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to transfer all of the information onto my stickers, get them put into my calendar. It's just going to require me to make many, many fewer stickers, save paper, save some trees, you know. I might even, when I have finished with these stickers, go to just the highlighter method. I have so many of these beautiful highlighters. I may just highlight things in the color coding system rather than using stickers. I don't know, the stickers are fun. I love using stickers in my planner, but it's just a lot of paper being wasted. You know, I'm already using lots of paper in my actual budget, so we'll see about that. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this information from my expense tracker. I've already highlighted everything in the color coding system and figured out what I spent in each category. I'm going to go ahead and transfer this information onto my stickers, get my stickers put down, and then we'll start filling in all of my worksheets to reflect that information. Okay, so I went ahead and put in all my totals on all of my stickers, and I filled in these bill amounts here. So my calendar is all kind of done for the week. We can really quickly just go over my spending. I'm actually going to flip to my little expense tracker for that though, because I have all the information there. I know this is kind of one of the most interesting things about watching someone else budget is seeing where their money goes. So this week for bills, I paid my DTE bill, my Michigan gas bill as expected. I also had my Spectrum bill clear my account, so I went ahead and wrote that in, though that was covered in last week's budget. You can see for my spending here, which is in this purple color, I had, let's see, according to my weekly check-in for my spending, I had $45. We can go ahead and fill in this weekly check-in kind of as we chat. I had $45 total in my cash envelope, and you can see this week I spent $40 at David's Tea. So I'm going to go ahead and write that $40 in here under the spent category. I did film a little haul of some of the things I picked up from David's Tea. It was in a recent vlog video, which I will link above. I love tea, especially this time of year. Been spending all of my spending money on tea lately. This David's Tea order, this $40, actually has not arrived yet. So the haul that you would see if you watched that vlog was from last week's David's Tea spending. You will probably likely see some more tea in an upcoming vlog when I get this order, but that is what I decided to spend my spending money on this week. For food, I tried really hard to rein in our spending on food. You guys, I track my food spending in yellow. You guys can see lots and lots of yellow. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, wow, Jessie, you did a really piss poor job at reining it in. But even though it was still a lot of eating out, it was less than what we've been doing recently. Less money spent overall with food. You can see our total here for food was $177, and I've been spending $250 plus every week. So even though this might seem like a lot to some of you, this is actually really good. I'm really, really happy with this. So the total amount we spent for food this week was $177, so I'm going to go ahead and write that in here under spent. Some of the things we spent money on this week, we did just a very minimal grocery run. I did post a grocery haul if you're interested in checking that out. I will link that above as well. I need to leave myself a little note to remember to link all of these videos that I'm talking about. So that really helped. I really shopped my pantry, my cabinets, figured out what I had and planned around that. That's something I used to do all the time with my budget. And as of late, I've just been lazier, shopping for lots of convenient foods, buying things we did not necessarily need, but things that sounded good or things we wanted. Jam-packed my fridge and freezer and pantry with food, and then was going out to eat anyway. So I tried to really think about what I actually needed, what we would eat for the week. And then I tried really hard to keep our eating out in check. Now, we did do quite a bit of eating out, you can see here. Some of this was because we went to a University of Michigan soccer game as a fun family thing that we had the best time. And we got dinner beforehand, so we went to Subway. And then we also bought some snacks and things to take with us to the game. It's a little bit of a drive, so, a little bit of not really road trip. It's only like 45 minutes, but some snacks to have while we watched the game and that sort of thing. And then at the game, we got drinks, which were really expensive. 4 drinks, $20. But it's something we don't do all the time. We really enjoyed ourselves, so, it wasn't too bad. It was fun. And then the next morning, my youngest son was set to play in his soccer game, but the soccer game got canceled because of weather. It was pouring down rain all day. In fact, it rained on us at that University of Michigan soccer game quite a bit. So he was really, really disappointed. So we took him out to breakfast to kind of make up for it and to, again, spend some more time as a family. That was $32. And then on Sunday, we still did a little bit of eating out. We ran to Taco Bell for lunch, and then we picked up a few things from Kroger for a few more grocery items. But overall, still, $177 is way better than it has been, so I'm going to take that as a win, even though it still probably was too much spending of food for the week. So this video is going to get really, really lengthy if I don't start talking a little bit faster and maybe a little bit less. So for miscellaneous, you can see the green is what I track miscellaneous. We spent $20. I actually just gave my kid $20 for something that he helped me with, so that was that. For gas, we had one gas transaction that I track in pink, and that was $38 that we spent. We just filled up before we went to that soccer game. and it cost us a total of $38. The only other category I have here is unbudgeted in this red color, which you can see we did not have any unbudgeted expenses. So now we can go ahead and look at this weekly check-in. I'm actually going to fold this in half so I can focus, and we can see how much I started with, how much I spent, what I have remaining, and make sure that those numbers match what I actually have in my wallet. So for food, we started out with $3, we added $2.50, and then we spent $177, so that should leave us with a remaining balance of $76. For my spending, I started with $5, I added $40, but then I spent $40, so that should still leave me with that $5. For miscellaneous, we started with nothing, we added $20, we spent $20, so that balance should be 0. My envelope should be empty. And then for gas, we started with $40, we added $20, we spent $38, so that should leave me with $22. And I just really quickly want to make sure that that's what I actually have in my envelopes. This is my cash envelope wallet. So in my food envelope, I should have $76. 50, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. So that's accurate. And my cash is all sorts of willy-nilly, so I'm just going to fix that. So the food balance is correct. For my spending, I should have $5, and that is what I have here. For miscellaneous, that should be completely empty. And as you can see there, it is. And then for gas, I should have $22, and that is what I have, so that's perfect. I did write on my to-do list last week to make some new envelopes so that all my envelopes match, and then I never got around to it. So that'll go on this week's to-do list again, and hopefully next week I will have all matching envelopes. So that's the weekly check-in. Everything lines up. Everything's good to go. Using this expense tracker really worked out for me, so I've already printed out another expense tracker for week 3, and I'm going to keep doing this as long as it continues to work for me. Let me know if you guys would like to see the expense tracker pop up in my Etsy shop. I already have bundles for October and November listed, so this would just be its separate listing for just the expense tracker to match. I have the October leaves pattern, and I also have the one for November. I can show you guys what that looks like, I think, if it's in here. I already went ahead and, made the expense tracker for November as well. I'm liking this, so yeah, let me know what you guys think. Okay, so the weekly check-in is done. All of my envelopes match. All of my spending has been tracked. So the very last thing to do is just fill in these last couple of actual categories, and that's going to finish up my week 2 budget. So we budgeted $42 for Michigan gas. You guys already know, filled everything in. $42 is what we spent and paid towards Michigan gas, and $193 is what we paid towards DTE, so these bills were all as expected. That's always a good thing. We always like to see the bills actually come in at or less than what we anticipate, so that means then that my bill total is accurate here. And then obviously these actual columns are already filled in. We did that together last week, so the very last thing then is just my extra debt. I had planned to pay $125 to my husband's cell phone bill. If you look here at this gray sticker, you can see that is what I ended up doing, so that was all as planned. So this week, we had a perfect budget. Everything lined up with exactly what we expected. I was able to add $380 to my sinking funds, which was a huge win. So yeah, I can fill in these actual columns. These all panned out just as expected. So it was a really, really good week. I was able to stay on track. We aren't in the negative in any of our categories. You know, we've not accumulated any extra debt this week, so it was a really good week, and I'm really liking some of the changes that I've made with doing the weekly check-in, rolling my cash envelopes over, tracking my expenses a new way, making use of all of my fun highlighters and things. So I'm really, really loving the system that I have in place. I'm liking using my worksheets and everything, so we're in a good place here at the middle of October. So I am all set and ready then to close the book on week 2 and move on to week 3. Make sure that you are on the lookout for my October week 3 budget, which will be coming soon. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'd love to have you come back, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!